Number 12. The Aerodyne. Its creator was a German scientist with a somewhat strange-sounding surname himself, Alexander Lippisch. This was an early version of the Aerodyne, which was designed wingless. The idea behind the Aerodyne is the combination of lift and thrust in one unit and flow tube. The Aerodyne could be flown and maneuvered while hovering or while just plain flying full-on. Oh yeah, and it was an unmanned aircraft, a lot like today's drones, only much larger, flown solely by remote control. These were built for use as an air recon vehicle. Number 11. The Nemeth Parasol. Students at Miami University built this bizarre-looking machine back in the dirty 30s. They were trying to design a plane with a circular wing and succeeded. They were able to test fly this craft and demonstrated to naysayers that even a flat, round wing could work and be stable. Years later, this dinner plate design has been spotted in various locations around the globe and probably mistakenly identified as a UFO. Number 10. The Blohm & Voss BV-141. The Blohm & Voss BV-141 was a World War II German tactical recon plane. Extraordinarily bizarre looking, as the engine and cockpit are completely separate. In 1937, the German Air Ministry, which I will refer to as the High Muckety Mucks from here on forward, wanted a single-engine reconnaissance aircraft that was designed so the pilot, spotter, and gunner would have an almost perfect 360-degree view from any seat in the cockpit. Well, the BV-141 was born. The plane never made it to mass production and use, though, because design specs were not up to par. They had to revamp the engine many times. By the time it was ready for use, it was too late. No examples of the BV-141 exist today. Number 9. The Avro Canada VZ-9 Avrocar. This was a secret plane developed in 1959. Yes, sock ops, rock and roll, and UFOs? Well, maybe all those sightings could be contributed to this beauty. This was made by Avro Canada as part of a clandestine U.S. military project during the Cold War. Yeah, spies and stuff. It was first built as a fighter-like aircraft capable of very high speeds and altitudes. The U.S. Air Force was never happy with the craft and kept downsizing the project until they finally called it quits. The U.S. Army took over the project because they wanted to develop it into a combat aircraft, a weird kind of high-performance helicopter. Due to all sorts of issues, though, they finally scrapped the idea in 1961. Number 8. The NASA Hyper 3. This bizarre-looking flying machine was created in the 60s by NASA as a re-entry vehicle for their space modules. It was designed to imitate a pop-out wing. In December of 1969, a few months after the summer of '69, Brian Adams, I thank you very much. The Hyper 3 was launched from a helicopter at 10,000 feet. It flew about 3 miles, turned around, came back, and landed. After the 3-minute flight, it was not flown again as NASA decided to end the project and cancel the program. Number 7. The Northrop YB-35. The Northrop YB-35 was an early version of Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter. Oh, okay, you got me. No, it wasn't. It was a flying wing bomber designed during World War II. I feel as if a 5-year-old were in the room while it was being designed and said, "Dad, I want more propellers." And the engineer replied, "Sure, son." And there you have it. The Northrop was an experimental heavy bomber for the U.S. Air Force. They only built the prototype. Number 6. The DeLachner HZ-1 Aerocycle. This sweet-looking ride was built as a single-soldier recon mission vehicle. Although it does look like you could bring it down with your trusty Red Ryder BB gun. Christmas story reference. Shoot your eye out, kid. This was built by the U.S. in the mid-1950s and was intended to be flown by inexperienced pilots with a minimum of 20 minutes of instruction. However, it was quickly determined that the craft was much more difficult to fly than had been expected and would not be safe in the hands of an inexperienced pilot. As more test flights were performed, it was also determined it wasn't safe for experienced pilots either. And they trashed the concept altogether. Number 5. The Caproni CA-60 Nova Plano. You know when you go out to your favorite pub for wing night where you can eat as many wings as you could stuff yourself silly with for just $10? Well, that really has nothing to do with this tremendously winged aircraft. It's wings, and more wings. Did I mention it has wings? This charming lady was from the early 1900s as they tried to get boats to fly. This lovely girl flew once, then crashed, then was towed to shore, then burned to the ground. All the same day. I wonder if any of these designers were in on the Titanic build. Number 4. The Douglas XB-42 Mixmaster. When I first heard the name of this plane, I thought it would mix up a wicked batch of salsa, or maybe a really delicious kale and spinach smoothie. I was wrong. It was built as a high-speed bomber in 1944. It's probably one of the most normal-looking planes of this bunch, with the exception of the propeller in the rear. Although if an enemy fighter approached from the rear, it might confuse the pilot thinking they were flying head-on. Number 3. The Bartini Beriev VVA-14. It's beefy looking. This is the dude you want with you walking down a dark alley at night. Developed in the 70s by the Soviets as a vertical takeoff water and land aircraft, designed to be able to take off from the water and fly really fast over many miles. It was designed to fly mostly at high altitudes, but also have the capability of flying just as well above the surface of the ocean. The VVA-14 was designed by Italian-born designer Robert Bartini in response to a perceived threat by the United States Navy Polaris missile submarines. Number 2, the McDonnell XF-85 Goblin. I know what you're thinking. This was the plane of Spider-Man's arch nemesis, the Green Goblin. No, it was actually an American prototype fighter plane engineered during World War II by McDonnell Aircraft. It was supposed to be launched from the bomb bay of the giant Convair B-36 bomber as a defense fighter. The XF-85's main function was to defend bombers from enemy planes, or in World War II lingo, bogeys! There was a tremendous need for this as U.S. bombers were shot down a lot. 2 prototypes were built before the project was ended. Number 1, the Snecma Flying Coleoptère C-450. The name of this fantastically scaring-looking aircraft actually means beetle in French. It was developed by the French company Snecma in the 1950s. It was a one-man plane that wasn't a big hit with the ladies then and now. It was designed to take off and land vertically. Obviously, there was no need for a runway, and they didn't need much space. The only prototype built was completely trashed the 9th time it was flown, and by the looks of this ugly beast, it's probably just as well.